Not long ago, I got to sit down with my friend Gerrit Gustafson. Gerrit was part of the original creative team for Integrity's Hosanna Music way back in the day. He's actually been leading worship longer than I have, if you can believe that. He's an author, he's a Bible teacher. Gerrit, his teaching has had a huge impact on me over the years in my teaching. And as he and I talked there that day, he shared something about the idea of kind of the end game of what we're all about as worship leaders. So take a listen.
I'm leading this congregation this Sunday morning, or this small group, for this purpose. I want to help those who are there enter in and offer their sacrifices. I think the difference between, are we doing worship for them, or are we are we quickening their own worship experience? I like to think of it like, in the Old Testament, the worshipers would bring a goat or maybe a bull or a lamb or a turtle dove or something, and they would either bring that from their ranch or they would buy it there at the temple. Worship leaders are saying, here, take this into the presence of God. That's what a good song does. It allows that worshiper to have something to present to God. We don't think of sacrifices very often. Sometimes we even think, well, that's Old Testament. It's New Testament. Paul says, I urge you, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as living sacrifices. Peter says, you are being built into a spiritual house to offer spiritual sacrifices. Many New Testament scriptures about the link between worship and the offering of sacrifices. I like to think of the worshiper as being a priest, and this is the implication of what it means to be a kingdom of priests, or to be kings and priests. But a priest is one who draws near to the divine presence, offering gifts and sacrifices. Hebrews 10 says that a priest talks about the priests who offer gifts and sacrifices. That's what, when we go to church, we're not just there to listen, we're not just there to be informed, we're there to bring offerings and sacrifices. So link that with the skills necessary for a good worship leader. It's learning how to pay attention to the pathways that God leads us into, and how we can effectively bring people onto those pathways and into His wonderful presence. So worship leaders, to me, are bringing people into the presence of God so that they can be the worshipers. The audience, the congregation is central to that. And I'm afraid, talking about the contrast, I'm afraid that we've lost sight of that. I think that too often we got some good music here we want you to hear and engage with, and you're going to really be inspired. That's great, but it's not essentially what worship leaders need to be doing. One thing I would say to worship leaders and new worship leaders is your training is not finished whenever you are able to do the song well, either individually or with a band. That's just the beginning. The training is take that song now and, without self-consciousness, help people encounter God. The way I would say it is, the purpose of worship leading is to help people into the presence of God so that they can offer acceptable sacrifices.
I really like how Gerrit phrased it. He talked about the song being that object of offering that we can give to the people. We're not there entertaining them. We're not there just kind of giving them some nice feel-good music to kind of inspire them. No, we're giving something, placing something into them, into their hands, that they can then offer to God. What a great concept. So as you're planning for worship this week and in the future, I want you to think in those terms. What does that mean for you? And how can you equip the people in your congregation to then offer that offering, that sacrifice of praise to God?
Brought to you by MyWorshipLeadingCoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.